Get ready with me while I pack for an in-home newborn session. These are all the things that I plan on using during the session. I've already went ahead and pulled all the backdrops that I plan on using. There is 6 here. That's typically what I plan for. And then I have these ugly layers that nobody sees. They go underneath everything. And these are all the props that I plan on bringing. I'm not going to bore you with how I got everything here. I didn't think it'd be fair to drag everyone along with just exactly how I brought all probably 8 of these bins that I needed for this session from my garage into the house. But this is basically how I store everything. I have different bins for backdrops. These are like the girly colors, pinks, purples. These are more blues, greens, and of course creams and whites get stuffed everywhere. And then I have coordinating bins for the swaddles. Here's the boy bin. I don't know how that pink got in there. Things happen. And then of course I have all kinds of bump layers, like the fluffy things, all kinds of like cushiony things that I might need during the session, and just random different kinds of layers and fabrics that I'll need. I have a bin here for newborn clothes that I brought in, and where I keep my props. All the props and fabrics are going to fit in these 2 suitcases. And then I have some florals that I'm going to be bringing, and I don't want to, put those in with the fabrics. And then I have my light bin. This is pretty much the same for every session. For this session, we're not doing parent photos, so I'm not bringing my large backdrop stand. I'm only bringing a little one for these siblings who are really young and little. I always bring my clamps, and I have some random accessories here, all kinds of clips and extension cords and anything extra I might need. I'm only bringing the short part of my light stand since we're not doing the parent photos. But normally I'll have the pole in here to do the parent photos as well. Here's the smaller backdrop stand for the kiddos, a space heater, my actual lamp, the umbrella, a reflector, some extra extension cords, tape always comes in handy, and of course this rolling caddy, which actually goes upstairs if I need it to. Fortunately, I don't have to do that very often. You can see here that I'm doing a really good job of maximizing all my space, using every little empty pocket of space in the suitcase to stuff stuff, because it really does take a lot of room, especially all the fluffy layers. And for how neat everything looks going in, it's never ever this neat when I am finishing a session and all the laundry ends up just getting thrown into a bag. All packed, all nice and neat in here. In addition to this, I always have my camera suitcase where I have 2 cameras and a flash just in case something happens with my lighting. When we're doing parent photos, I can bring my seamless backdrop as well, and the larger backdrop stand, if that's a look that the parents are wanting. And I always have a shot list. So the shot list serves a bunch of purposes. It helps us to not overpack. It helps us have all the items needed for each pose and shot. It helps keep the session moving and prevents us from forgetting any of the setups that we planned. And finally, it helps my assistant prep for the next shot. Sometimes I pull all the fabrics and props I want to use and then sit down and write the session plan. And then sometimes I sit down and start thinking of poses, plan the backdrops for them, and then think of the props I want to use to put it all together. For this session, everything fits snugly in the suitcases, and I'll be able to get everything in the house in one trip with my assistant. But a lot of times we have bigger props and the seamless paper, and my assistant will have an extra trip or 2 to the car. Finally, the only thing that I didn't mention is I almost always bring a stepladder, and I have a pretty one that can also serve as a prop, and it's super helpful for overhead shots. And that's it. That's how I get ready for an in-home newborn photography session.